Greetings, Internet land, and welcome to Season 2 of Listen to Girls. What are your baseline needs? What are your boundaries? Are you able to recognize when they change? Are you able to communicate when they change? Also, strippers are the coolest people ever. We have a really fun interview to kick off the second season. In this episode, we're talking to Brittany Wallman, Minneapolis local, and all-around boss lady. Brittany and I chat about working in the creative field and all the different paths it took us to get here. I also wanted to shout out an event going on tonight, February 28th, Friday, that Brittany is really passionate about supporting. We talk about it later in the episode, but if you're looking for something to do, there's a show going on at Lush. Doors are at 6:30. It's put on by Dahlia Dulce and Electric Cute Presents, and it's called the Noir Pageant Fundraiser. A little bit more info from the event. The Noir Pageant is produced by Mother Pearl Noir and is dedicated to showcasing performers of color on an international level. The opportunities, notoriety, and recognition this show has built for the POC community is monumental and another step to closing the historic equity gaps we continue to face inside and outside the performance industry. Representation does matter, and they want to help the Noir Pageant undertake this historic venture. Please join them tonight in celebrating POC artists by raising funds for this very important cause. So again, 6:30 doors tonight at Lush. It's awesome. You're going to see a bunch of amazing international performers as well as really cool local artists doing burlesque. Last thing before we get started, redid the Patreon, so there's some new rewards up. This podcast will always be available for free, but we definitely need help to keep it going. Check out www.patreon.com/listentogirls to get in on the convo. Your support is appreciated tremendously. Let's go. Hi, Brittany.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me in your cute little studio.
Thanks. I'm going to miss it. Moving
It'll
studios.
Be okay.
It will be
build
okay.
a new studio.
I am really stoked about that.
Yeah,
for sure. First episode of the second season.
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize I was the first one.
Yeah, welcome.
Exciting.
You described yourself as Jack of all trades, Jill of all trades.
Jill of all trades.
All around badass.
I try.
You do. And you try very well. You do. I mean, you mostly do like a lot of production stuff and like event stuff.
Yeah.
You were a pastry chef, right?
Pastry assistant.
Pastry assistant. Okay.
Yes, that was a super fun foray I kind of took this year.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pretty strong marketing background, do a lot of graphic design, done a lot of venue work, trying to get more into production things again.
Sweet.
With some of the burlesque projects that I'm doing.
Very fun.
Then, I baked over the summer, because that was
That's
something
awesome.
I had kind of always really wanted to dive into, and I got the opportunity to, so it was really fun.
How do you get the opportunity to do something like that?
Well, it helps when you're friends with the pastry chef.
Yeah, very good.
No, but we had Katie and I have been talking about working together for a really long time. We met at the Dakota.
Oh, sweet.
And so we've dreamed about opening a bakery, and like I have a lot of restaurant experience too in front of house. So like it was fun to be back of house, and it was super fun to be at the Lynn Hall.
Totally.
Super badass crew. Learned a lot. It's women led. It's a really, really nice kitchen environment.
Oh, yeah.
Which doesn't happen super often.
Totally.
And just as like a newbie into that scene, it was like a really welcoming environment.
Awesome.
So yeah, no, it was really, really cool. I love it.
That's so cool.
I miss them, and I hope they call me when they need special event help, because it's super fun to do.
Totally.
So yeah, no, that was really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And currently, you just got your contract extended with the Ordway?
I did, yes.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, that's been super fun to kind of, I realized like 2 days ago that I'm a contractor and I'm like kind of freelance, which is weird.
Yeah.
To be in that world.
Totally.
Which is something I've been kind of working towards for a while now. And so it's been really cool.
Nice.
Opens up a certain bit of freedom. that,
Totally.
I'm not quite used to having. So it's really fun.
So what are you doing exactly? You doing marketing stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing their digital marketing coordinating and doing some consulting and
Sweet.
helping that team out, and we'll see what happens from here. But
That's awesome.
it's been a really cool experience so far to dive in with that team, work on some
Sweet.
cool projects. Broadway's not like hasn't been like a thing I've been involved in before, so new world, new things I'm learning.
Fun.
So
So what? Sorry if this is a ridiculous question, but consulting. What is that? You just like
I have just kind of come in and like helped them reformat some of what they're doing for social media,
Okay,
and like
yep.
kind of like how they're reaching people and how that works with the programs that they're already doing.
sure.
But yeah, it's been super cool so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
So backtrack a little bit. How long have you been in the cities for?
I grew up here.
Okay, sweet.
Yep. I lived in Brooklyn Park, went to school there.
Awesome.
Growing up my whole life, and then went to school in Minneapolis, and have been living in Minneapolis and St. Paul for a lot of years now.
Cool.
So, yeah. Yep, I've been here.
What did you go to school for?
I went to IPR.
Oh,
and
yeah. I
yep,
totally knew that. Okay.
and did audio production.
Okay, great.
And then also did the business side
Awesome.
of things. So I was there for a little while.
And I'm trying to think, did we meet at the film fest or did we meet before that?
No, I think we had a lot of mutual friends.
I think so,
In the
too.
world, because you didn't go to IPR, did you?
No, I didn't. I
No.
almost did.
You're like,
wanted to.
I have a couple friends who I'm like, I swore you went to school with me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Everybody's just
Yep.
knows each other. And
Yep.
friends.
Totally. Funny. Cool. So then went to music school, production stuff, business stuff. And was it kind of just like obvious to you that you wanted to be on the business side of things, or
It is one of those things that I still am oscillating kind of between.
yeah.
It's been a theme. But yeah, I started on the audio side of things, did more live sound than in studio stuff. Just
That's
because
awesome.
That is kind of the nature of the beast. There's only so many studio assistant jobs out there, you know,
especially in Minneapolis.
and like got investing gear and got to do the whole thing. So I lean more towards live sound. I really, really love working in venues.
That's awesome.
Not necessarily doing live sound right now, but just in general, I love venues.
Totally.
It's the place I love to be. And so have kind of forayed into like producing shows and doing some of that kind of stuff. Have done some booking and like still do that world a little bit, but I have a natural bent for marketing things
Totally.
as well. And those are just kind of the opportunities that have always
Yeah.
presented themselves in my path. And so that's just kind of been the natural direction that I've taken.
Totally.
But I still really love to do all of the other things.
For
so
sure.
I try to figure out how to do those as well.
So one thing we were talking about off mic before was how, I mean, to put it very simply, how to decide to do what the fuck you want to do. And like you just said, marketing stuff kind of presented itself to you over and over again.
I mean, that's definitely a real thing. Like, at some point you have to pay your bills, right?
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
And like those opportunities for me have always been kind of, the bread and butter that helped me do that. So I can do some of the other projects.
The passion projects more so, yeah.
So, which is cool. I really like it too. So, and I think that I have good work to do in that arena. So, yeah, I'm like, I try, because I do so many different things, like I just kind of try to keep it open and go with the flow and see what happens.
Totally.
Because you don't know what projects are going to pop up or who you're going to meet or, what you're going to like to do. Or I've had a lot of jobs that like kind of like always morph into something else after I've been there for a while because I can do something else. Like when I was at Meritage, I started as their event coordinator and like ended up doing a shit ton of graphic design. I hope. I'm assuming we can swear here.
Oh yeah. Lots of swearing.
But like, which was super cool because I really loved doing that stuff, and it gave me a space to really like practice and delve into like that kind of stuff. It's like kind of a funny thing to me that like I booked a band at every restaurant I've worked at, and I've also like redesigned every menu for every venue I've been in.
That's amazing.
So like,
very good.
It's you just see what happens.
Totally.
And I just do fun things.
That's awesome. I love that way of thinking, and I feel like I kind of thrive in the same way of like, I remember way back when I was like, well, not way back.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I think when I was like 19 or 20 and I was living across the street from MCAT and I met a bunch of like art kids and like that was one of the first places where I was kind of in awe of people's work ethics and like whether healthy or not, they would just be working all the time. And I remember one of my really good friends, because I kind of feel like I've been a little bit of the same way, like always doing music or art, just like anything creative. But like I love to do anything. I love, especially doing project-based work. I love taking something on and then it having an end date and whatever. But yeah, they were like, you have to pick something. Like you have to pick like one thing.
You don't have to pick one thing.
That scarred me for so long.
You do not have to pick one thing.
You really don't.
You don't.
And where I am now, like I really like having like my own production company and being able to put on whatever fucking hat I want. And if I hadn't, practiced or exercised all those different things and failed, of course, like all the time, like I wouldn't know the smattering of the things it is that I like to do or have.
You gotta try.
Absolutely. And too, I think it was funny because I think at the time it was like also coming from a person that was putting thousands of dollars into a specific thing at school, whatever. And I get it, but no. So all of that to say, back to what you were talking about kind of staying open and getting able to pick jobs and stuff. Do you have any sort of a scale of like how you decide what jobs to take? I feel like for me, a lot of the times it's like, money's definitely a thing. What I'm passionate about is definitely a thing. And then also as far as like what to pursue, a lot of times I find myself, if I have choices that are kind of the same level, I try and think like, okay, well, what is something that I'm good at that other people don't really like doing? And that kind of came to mind when you were like talking about marketing and stuff. It's like a lot of people do not like doing social media and marketing and stuff like that. So sometimes I'm able to kind of choose your own adventure that way. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I kind of like to have a base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like having a routine a bit, even though like I'm always running around doing a bunch of different stuff. So like if I can have an opportunity and a baseline to like do work that lets me get involved, I'm at the point in my career where like I want to work on projects that have some longevity to them. I want to see the results of the work that I'm doing.
Totally.
Which requires building, which requires being in a spot, you know, that lasts longer than 6 months or whatever.
Totally.
So that's kind of a factor. I'm also to the point where I need to get paid a certain amount of money for the work that I am doing. And that's super important. And you have to advocate for yourself. And like, I will still take chances on things that like I really want to do if I think it's really important to me. But I've also done the thing where it's like, you know, you can only work for the passion project for so long and like not pay your rent.
Yep.
And be stressed out about it. And then you're not happy. And then you're like, is it really making me happy because it's the thing I thought I wanted to do?
Yes.
Or that it's like the cool thing that you're supposed to be doing. But it's like, it's not fulfilling you and it's not actually serving a purpose.
Totally.
And so I've learned to open myself up to other things that like will do some of that. And sometimes it doesn't look like what you think it will.
Totally.
And that can still change. Like I'm sure in 5 years it will look totally different than it looks right now. But that is definitely kind of the direction I'm taking with things because and there are passion projects that I want to do. So I want to have whatever I'm doing also has to support that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So
that baseline again, kind of like, so you can actually take that stuff
even
on.
out and like,
Yep.
I'm not that old, but I'm getting older. Like I'm like I need to have some like a life balance. Like there are other things I want to do.
Totally.
Like sometimes I want to chill.
Yep.
Go on a date, do something else that's like not,
Hell yeah.
not just working all the time. So I am, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Totally. I don't know how you feel, but I also think that along the sentiment of like, I can't take that job because it doesn't pay enough. Like even also if it's like a passion project and it doesn't pay enough, a lot of times also in the past I'd be like, I should just do it. But then it's like you don't have space for that other project to come along. I cannot
Learning
even
how to
count.
say no.
Yeah, dude.
Learning how to pick and choose. You gotta do it.
So that was going to be my next question, kind of on the opposite end. How do you decide to step away from a job?
That's always super hard for me to do. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
Because I never want to let anybody down.
Oh my God.
I just, you know, like at the heart of things, like you want to do a good job, right?
Yep.
You want to make sure people are taken care of, but you also have to take care of yourself.
Totally.
First. I've learned how to walk away with like ease and grace a little bit more now than like waiting too long and getting frustrated.
Totally.
I think I did that one too many times.
Totally.
And so now I'm like, nope, I know when it's time, when it's not working. And there's totally ways to do that in like nice professional ways that don't burn bridges and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's important to make space for yourself. And like as a person and as somebody who's working, especially in creative fields or people who are supporting creative fields, it's so hard to not just burn out.
Yes.
So I'm trying not to burn out anymore.
Totally.
That's,
Feel that.
which is where that baseline comes in.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. Yeah, too, I feel like something that I've finally been able to grasp and remind myself is, I mean, same. Sorry that I just keep saying same.
No.
It's like, I'm totally somebody that works till they're burnt out, totally a people pleaser, like you were mentioning too, and just like, I want to do the project the best. I want to do people the best that I've been working with and everything. But I have learned if these red flags are popping up where burnout is ahead somewhere, even if it's obviously, not apparent to anyone else, if I take the steps to step away from the project, from the job, whatever, and I communicate properly, if whoever I was working with can't respect that, then that's actually really okay and is all the more reason to leave. Whereas I feel like before, younger Vicky would have been like,
oh, it's again, my people project too.
Yeah, yeah.
and been like, so
oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, yeah, how can I do or stay in or feel bad that the person is upset, you know? And it's like, no, you obviously are not me. And yeah, don't know what this could turn into.
Yeah. And I think there is like that difference of like if it's your project versus like working on somebody else's project, and like just being clear about what your boundaries are from the get-go, which takes practice sometimes.
Absolutely.
Depending on, you know, what you're doing and how long you've been doing it. So it's a learning game for sure.
And sometimes boundaries change, like midway through a project, you know, and like learning to, first of all, even realize that for yourself and then communicate that. I think that's a special skill.
Yeah.
That people are terrified of and really bad at.
Well, and it's the like, especially just working in entertainment, like everybody wants to be liked, right?
Right.
So you don't want to be the person who lets somebody else down or, you know, the person who like, you know, doesn't like what everybody else likes or whatever it is.
Totally.
And so it's nice to get to a point where you can do the things you want to do because you want to do them and you know what that looks like. That's super cool.
Totally.
I wish that for everybody.
Yeah, totally. And I wish not being afraid of the process, again, like what we were talking about earlier, like you have to fuck up a lot. At least I did, in order to find out where I actually wanted to be, how I wanted to do where I wanted to be.
I'm not a perfect person.
No.
And there are still things I'm learning.
Yeah.
You know? And like there's still like things I have to work on like all the time.
I hope so, right? Yeah. Like I hope I'm always learning, and like no matter, I mean, working with a different group of people, hopefully you're not just concrete and whatever, like.
Yeah, well, and learn how to work with different groups of people.
Absolutely.
Is also the other thing.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's also the other part.
Yeah. Do you have any tricks for that?
Just be a nice person.
That's a great trick.
Just like don't be afraid to go into other environments and like be open and like don't be afraid to do the work and like generally 90% of the time that's going to be enough.
Yeah, totally.
You know? And it's a good way to learn how to do stuff. And don't be afraid to do things that, like, maybe you think you don't know how to do.
Totally.
You know? Like, you would never know how to do all of the different weird production things you know how to do if you wouldn't have just tried to do them. I took one graphic design class at IPR.
Yes.
It's not a graphic design school.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Oh my God.
But it's something that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I kept doing it. And I've like gotten a lot of work out of it.
Totally.
You know? So.
Absolutely. I feel like, especially with like people that either present or like identify as women, that's something that I'll say we, because that's me for sure, is almost like programmed to be way more terrified of than dudes. The whole taking on something that you're like not quite sure about.
Yeah. Just go do it.
Just go do it. Ask questions.
And it's okay if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You're not a failure if you like tried something and it like didn't work out.
Totally. Oh my God.
You tried it and it was like not your thing or not their thing or whatever, but like then go try something else.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
And it's hard. Like and it's scary.
The whole failing thing.
But you get so much growth out of it, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So do you think I was just thinking about how kind of creative jobs and like production jobs and stuff in Minneapolis are, I guess it's a pretty small pond. I don't know if that's ignorant of me saying that or not.
No, totally. Okay. It's a small town.
Totally. And yeah, I feel like that just, again, extra feeds into having to be nice or having to, not burn bridges and stuff. Do you think you just want to hang out in Minneapolis for a while, or do you ever think about heading out somewhere else?
I definitely think about moving a lot. I haven't done it yet. I freak out every couple of years. And then some other job comes along and I stay.
Totally. I think
that's always what happens. Yeah, no,
that,
like
actually.
every single time I'm like, all right, I'm fucking going.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere else to go do whatever, wherever. And then something kind of pops up. So,
That's kind of tight though, right?
which is like, I mean, like with the Ordway, that definitely has been a
Right.
thing. Like I've been thinking about it again.
Yeah.
And I've always been here. So it's good to like go experience other places.
Definitely.
And like I love traveling. So like it's either I move or I start traveling more.
Totally.
So, there's also that. But yeah, no, I think it's super cool to like go try your hand in another place and figure out what that looks like. And again, that's meeting new people, doing new things. Like it is a good thing, I think. But I also really, really love being in the city.
Yeah, I know.
And now I went from Minneapolis to St. Paul, and I've been in St. Paul for 2.5 years now, and I fucking love it.
I'm ready for
I
St.
know.
Paul life.
Yes.
I'm ready.
I'm so excited. I'll get to see you more.
Yeah.
And I really I love being here. So I haven't left yet.
Totally.
But it is a small pond, and sometimes the opportunities are hard to come by.
Yeah.
And whether that's luck of the draw or whatever that looks like, it just it is what it is.
Totally. Totally.
And so you have to be creative and find the things that you like to do. I've started working with the Twin Cities Burlesque Academy, which has opened like a lot of just really cool, fun things to do, which I think
can
has
only
like
imagine.
reinvigorated how I feel about being here.
Hell yeah.
So that's super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get hooked up with that?
I just started taking classes.
Oh, sweet.
Like about a year ago, just because I was like, that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
And I had produced a burlesque show a few years ago.
Hell yeah.
And it was something I kind of wanted to get back into. And so now I'm like approaching it from the other side of the stage.
That's awesome.
And it's been really fun so far. But yeah, I'm helping school do some social media and just working on more projects and getting to do more projects myself. It's a really good creative outlet. Like, one, strippers are the nicest people
I was just gonna
that I
say,
have met.
the coolest people ever. Seriously.
The coolest, the nicest, the fucking hardest working.
Yeah.
Like, the work ethic, like, it's so bomb. It's so great to
So
just
respectful.
be like involved in that arena and see people do what they do. And it's a really cool art form. And it draws so many different passions. And like I've started costuming, which is super fucking cool. Another weird feather in my cap.
Oh, I
and
love it.
done a little bit of audio production just like with cutting songs and stuff, which is an
Awesome.
old skill. And
Yeah.
all the marketing things come into play and like picking music. Like it draws on all the little things that I like to do. So it's been really fun.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Are there any projects you're working on, like any events coming up right now with that, or are you just
Right now,
hanging out?
I'm just kind of hanging out.
Sweet.
There's like lots of different shows coming up. By the time this comes out, the fundraiser will be over.
When does the fundraiser end?
Tomorrow night, actually.
Okay, I
So
was
the
gonna say,
28th. I was like, what day is it? But at Lush, a fundraiser with a lot of the local luminaries in town.
Awesome.
For the Noir Pageant, which is produced by Pearl Noir.
Cool.
And she is out in New York, and it's this really, really cool opportunity where it's a competition show, but it's all people of color.
Cool.
And of all varieties, shapes and sizes. And the people who are showcasing, then she is like putting together like a lot of tours and opportunities for all the people who are showcasing to have other opportunities in other places. So it's a really, really beautiful thing. And we're doing a fundraiser here in Minneapolis for it. So hopefully there'll be a lot of people out tomorrow night. I have no
Sweet.
doubt there will be, but yeah.
This might go up tomorrow morning, so.
All right. Well, then,
Lush
if it
out.
does, Lush, oh gosh, pretty sure starts at 7.
Oh, yeah.
I turned my phone off, so it didn't ring. But it's the Noir Pageant Fundraiser.
Cool.
So if you Google it or you Facebook it,
Sweet.
you'll be able to see it.
And then is the Noir Pageant going to be in Minneapolis?
No, the Noir
Okay.
Pageant's out in New York.
Okay, that's what I
and
thought.
it's March, the weekend of 13th.
So awesome.
Yeah. So super, super cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Any other random projects you're working on right now besides Ordway or?
Not really. That's kind of like taking up the priority of my time.
Understandably so.
Yeah. No, working, and then I'm still, I am doing some menu stuff. I do some supervising over at the varsity.
Sweet.
Yeah, in their box office. So that's been super fun to be back in a venue again. So yeah, no, I'm busy doing all sorts of stuff. I wish there were like 2 more days in the week, which I would regret saying if it was true.
Yes, you would. Oh my God.
But like 4 more hours in the day and like 2 more days in the week, and then I would then also have time to do laundry. So that's
hilarious.
kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, totally. So you have, I was gonna like ask about hobbies, but you do essentially everything. So
Yeah.
yes,
Burlesque
period.
has definitely become like the hobby.
Cool.
I think.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Which is
awesome.
great. It's you gotta. I found I need some sort of creative outlet in my life, and
Absolutely.
so that is it right now.
Some sort of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just for me.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Totally. Totally. I think, yeah, God, especially somebody that does as much shit as you, doing something just for yourself, VV important. Yeah. Has there been times in your life, I feel like I could answer this question for you probably, but have there been times in your life where doing stuff just for yourself was kind of absent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think like with a lot of people our age too. Like I deal with anxiety and depression and
Totally.
like getting burnt out, and then sometimes, and I definitely like am a workaholic, so I focus on work, and it's important to be able to make time for yourself to do other things. So you don't just reach that like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah.
3 months went by and all I've done is work, and I like haven't talked to anybody, and
Totally.
so I am trying to find that balance a little bit more for sure.
Especially when you're a workaholic and like work feels like you're
Well,
doing
and
it
you
for yourself.
when you like what you do too,
Yeah,
right? Like, and
yeah.
I mean that's kind of because I am a workaholic. Like we were talking about, like when we choose things, like I do have to like want to be involved. Like it's
Totally.
got to have at least a little bit of a passion, pull to it.
Definitely.
Otherwise, it's really hard for me to do. And maybe that's a privileged stance to come from a little bit, but like I appreciate that I've gotten to a point where I do at least kind of get to choose what I want to do, with the opportunities that are around. So that's really cool.
That's awesome.
But still, even if you like what you're doing, like it's important to like do other things.
Totally.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a hobby. Like you don't have to make your hobby into work or like all of that either. Like even though it's like, oh, I go to yoga, or I read a book at the coffee shop. So do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember when I first like officially, after doing freelance for everybody else for so long, decided to start my own production company. And I was like so geeked on it that I remember it was like I was single for a little bit too, so pretty much just like only had to report to myself. And I've only had like a panic attack like a couple times in my life, but I remember I was like on the schedule of edit, sleep when I absolutely had to, and then just like, just keep working. And it was so thrilling and I had so much fun. And then I remember waking up in a panic attack. being like, not tight.
You're like, what kind of schedule did I set for myself?
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, no, I did that this summer when I was doing a bunch of different stuff and baking at the same time. And like,
not good.
I had to cut some stuff out. Mm-hmm. I was like, pastries or sleep.
Yeah.
I really want to keep doing this, but I can't.
Why? Oh my God.
So, yeah, it's real. We don't want to give ourselves panic attacks.
No.
There's plenty of other things to do that for us.
Definitely. Damn it.
I know.
Yeah. Well,
it is fun to, like, do what you want when you want to, though.
It's the most fun.
It's definitely fun.
Especially from one workaholic to another when you're, like,
mm-hmm.
working on a project that you really enjoy. Like, I like if I knew that I could be mentally sound and do that exact schedule of just like, all right, I'll eat when I have to and sleep when I have to, and then I'll just work the rest of the time. I fucking would, and
mm-hmm.
that's terrifying.
It's not sustainable.
It really isn't. No. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of interested in if you'd be interested in talking about this,
mm-hmm.
but just from your perspective, somebody that has worked in so many different fields, so many different venues, in this town and everything, is there anything that you feel like is glaringly missing? I know that's kind of like a generic question, but just like from the working atmosphere or from the type of shows, I don't know. Like, is there anything that you'd like Minneapolis / St. Paul to buck up on, get their shit together?
Oh man, I mean, there's always things, right? Yeah. I feel like I wish we had more voices that were heard. You know, like not, and there is a wide spread of stuff here, but like there's only one City Pages.
Totally.
I miss when there were like multiple things to read in other blogs. Like I know that's kind of died out with the digital age anyways. Yeah. Like that's not as big of a thing anymore. And like all of that stuff kind of changes.
Right.
With the technology and whatnot. But like, I don't know. And maybe I think there are circles.
Yeah.
And I think it exists. I just wish it was more amplified.
Through the megaphone, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be nice to see again. More camaraderie.
Totally.
A little more like different people are doing cool things, and this is what that looks like, and people just celebrating more.
People being different.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Because we have a super diverse everything in this town, and I feel like it just could be so much more vibrant if people interacted a little bit more, and all that.
I think my favorite, like just for instance, music shows and stuff, they're always my favorite if it's like overlapping scenes or overlapping genres or something. Like,
I fucking love that.
Fucking love that.
Put weird shit together.
Seriously.
That's how it should be.
Absolutely. Yeah. It makes, I feel like something that I was totally guilty of before I worked at this recording studio for a couple years was like, oh, I wish there was more music in town, or like, oh, I wish, I remember coming back from New Orleans and being like, God damn it, like I wish I could walk down the street and have a different, amazing band blasting out of every door. But it's like, if you seek it out, there's awesome shit going on almost every night of the week. Not everybody's in the cool kid club or whatever that's putting on a show, but it's so fucking cool.
But it's still cool.
It's still cool. Yeah, just because you're not in the cool kids club, it doesn't mean you're not cool. But you're not in the megaphone, you're not in City Pages or whatever, and it's like, and that's not to shit on anyone that's in City Pages.
Nope. Not at all. But
it's just please more.
Yeah, there's just more. There could be more. And I don't know what that looks like, and like I, don't have any answers for how to like build what those new platforms look like. But I am hopeful that maybe there will be something soon or something.
Totally,
we'll see.
Totally.
Everything's always changing.
Yes. So on the other end of that, what is something like you think that the Twin Cities does really well? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I mean, we do have a really strong, to the other side of there, wishing there was a stronger network. Like, you know, I feel like there are a lot of people here who do just like work really fucking hard and who are really fucking nice. And I have felt really privileged in like the last few years, and like the women I've been able to work with in this town have been really dope.
Yeah.
And that's super cool. So to that end, I think we have a lot of good spaces that are like, and that are sprouting right now too.
Totally.
I feel like there's a little bit of a revolution around that, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to see like what everybody does.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's been really cool. I feel like over the past couple years, and whether or not it was just my perspective shifting or whatever, I'm sure it's multiple things, but just seeing people that maybe have been discouraged previously from participating in kind of the art scene and stuff, carving spaces out for themselves. And I feel like those people, I mean, just like you said, kind of sprouting up, and like at the same time, which I don't know why it's not just like obvious to do both at the same time, but I feel like the people that are carving out spaces for themselves are also making sure that they're carving out spaces for all these other people too. It's not just like, again, getting to the top of the heap or whatever, which I feel like was at least my experience, or who I was surrounded with a lot towards my beginning of, you know, trying to step into the scene, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty typical of like this, like not just in this town, like
No,
in general,
no,
like what
no,
we try to
no.
do is it's real and it's a grind. And it takes, to be frank, like more work and more effort, you know, to do a lot of shit. I've definitely felt that way. I've felt discouraged from certain things for certain reasons. And like, it's nice to get to a place where I'm a lot less discouraged, and I'm like, well, if this opportunity isn't for me, I'm going to go do something else.
Totally.
And be able to go do something else, or do it somewhere else, or in a different way. So yeah, I think people are feeling a lot more freedom in that regard.
Yes.
Which is cool, and that comes with like being able to do like other things and be flexible. I think back to the point of like, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, learn how to do other stuff, too.
Totally.
Like, you may be a marketer, but, like, learn how to do graphic design.
Right.
Or, like, you know, you might be a producer, but, like, learn how to book people.
Right.
Or whatever that
Yep.
looks like. It will just feel better in the long run, I think.
And it'll only benefit you in the long run.
Well,
like,
and there aren't a lot of full-time 9-to-5, you know, music jobs out there, right? Like, that doesn't really exist. And so, I mean, it does in a small capacity.
Yep.
But generally speaking, you know, I think it's learning how to cobble together the things that you want to do, for sure.
Yeah. I think that being here too, again, never lived anywhere else, but I feel like we have a lot of resources, and or even just literally, I mean, the cost of living is much lesser comparatively, so people have more opportunities to take chances and just like literally start their own thing and stuff like that, which I think is really fucking cool.
There's a lot of stuff to do in this town. So
Again, if you go looking for it, there's plenty to do. Bruh, I'm so excited to live by you in St. Paul.
yes, I fucking love that.
Is there any other like fun new venues opening up that you know about?
I mean, other than that big thing, I'm not aware of any other new venues opening up right now.
Neither am I.
I still haven't gotten to go see a show at the Fitz yet since First Stab took it over.
Sweet.
They've had a lot of really cool stuff go through there.
Totally.
which is in St. Paul.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's been fun to see what different shows pop up in different venues that like didn't used to be the norm.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's
also
been,
very true.
Kind of cool to see happen.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else fun coming up? Working?
Sweet.
Sweet.
Doing lots of work. Lots of burlesque things.
What are you going to bake next on a day off? Oh, man. You have any like fun recipes in the back of your head?
I gotta start doing more bread at home.
Nice.
I think is the goal. I do like a lot of sweet things.
Sweet.
But yeah, trying not to lose that creative side of things too. I miss making croissants all the time.
Totally.
Probably won't be making those at home in opinion, but but yeah. Yeah, just hanging out, doing lots of work, trying to like make some costumes and do some stuff. And
so dope.
Yeah.
Are you just making costumes for yourself right now?
Yeah.
Or are you doing okay, awesome.
Yep. Learning some things and doing some more just like movement stuff and getting my body back in gear.
Totally.
Yeah. No, it's been really cool.
Oof. Yeah, I'm ready for summer.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready for it to be warm.
Yeah. No ice at the very least, please God.
I know.
Is there anything else you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
Come to the Noir Pageant Fundraiser.
Yes.
28th.
Sweet.
Lush. 7
Maybe
p.m.
7 p.m.
Pretty sure it's 7 p.m. Might be 8, but I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Get there at 7. So you can see it.
And yeah, just go see cool shit in cool places.
Yeah. Can anybody find you if they want to via social media or anything?
Yeah.
Or email or?
If you want to reach out, you can always email me at brittany.wallman@gmail.com.
Hey.
And I'm on Facebook. You can friend me. I am on Instagram, which I probably use a little bit more, social media. Mm-hmm. I'm running so many people's social medias right now that like doing stuff for me is kind of, I'm like, I don't know. Fun. Every once in a while.
Yeah, totally.
I'm on there like a medium amount, but I'm at BM Wallman.
Sweet.
Yeah.
WALLMAN.
MAN. Yep.
Cool. I know I keep saying last things, but last thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to give anybody listening a piece of advice that say thinks you're really cool and wants to try out, event work, gig work, stuff like that, what's a piece of advice you would give them?
Yeah. Just go fucking do it.
Hell yeah.
Just go do it. And if you don't know what it's about, go to a show and hang out.
Totally.
Don't be afraid to make a new friend.
Totally.
That's
the best advice ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just go to somewhere where you like what's going on and meet people there. And
I am super social anxiety ridden, right? I'm always like, oh my God, do you like me? And people are but everybody feels like that. Mm-hmm. So just most of the time, people are going to be real nice.
Totes.
So just be nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Finger guns.
Well, thanks so much for coming. I know you have a ridiculous schedule, and I know this week was especially
oh my God, no,
brutal.
You're the best. I appreciate you thinking I'm cool enough to come on and chat.
You're so fucking cool.
I don't think I'm that cool, but it was super fun.
Wrong.
It's super fun to be here
Hell
and
yeah.
hang out. And thank you for having this platform to chat about this kind of stuff.
It's very sweet.
You're fucking cool.
God damn it. Cool. All right, let's hang out in real life soon too.
Yes, please.
Yay. Thank you.
Attention! You have been